My name's Christian, I'm 34. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 18, and a year after that registered as blind or severely sight impaired. At the moment I'm currently living with my girlfriend. We're engaged to be married, and we're planning for a wedding for next year. For the first 3 years of my illness, I was more or less permanently in a wheelchair, and was quite quickly progressively getting a lot worse, to the point where this was a concern to everyone around me, to my family, who pressed for me to get onto a trial for a new drug that was being developed for multiple sclerosis. Some of the side effects from taking this drug I also still live with today. I have a problem with my thyroid, which affects me in quite a lot of ways, and I'm still registered as partially sighted or severely sight impaired. I haven't been able to work due to my ill health. I have varying days, so some days I struggle to get out of bed. I can't walk, I have trouble getting to the toilet on time. My general health or my general strength is a lot weaker some days than it is on others. And even on my best days I do struggle quite a lot with walking, and just generally getting around is quite a big effort. MS does lead to quite a heavy amount of fatigue and mood swings, and it's such a multifaceted illness. There's so many different things that can affect me on any given day. It's quite hard to tell people that you're disabled when you don't look quite clearly physically disabled. I think that does have a bearing.
What we're trying to do with these reforms is to get them to be fair, so that the people who need them get better payments, and those who don't need the higher levels don't take those higher levels.
I think as I've grown up, I've experienced the consequences of our current benefit system. I've learnt some of the problems of being on benefit can have for a disabled person trying to live independently. I've just been notified by the Department of Work and Pensions that they think £48 a week is enough for myself to live on, taking into consideration what my partner Debbie is earning. She earns around £140, £150 a week. They only disregard £20 of that, and the rest would be an amount that's taken off of my benefit or taken off my money, and that leaves me with £48 a week as my own money. I think because it's such a variable disease, and one day to the next one day is not going to be similar to the other. It's really hard to hold down any full-time or permanent work, and I've really struggled. I've really had a hard time finding something that suits my illness and getting enough support in order to do certain things. Bit of trouble understanding how they don't deem someone who is disabled and a young man as someone who needs their own financial independence, and to present this to a partner or a new girlfriend or boyfriend and say, well, you can come and live with me, but as soon as you do, I'm going to lose all of my money. That kind of took a lot of getting my head round. Man who had sickness benefits axed wins appeal months after he died. I think that one's one of the worst ones, because it's put someone under so much stress, under such a battle and a fight to win back, or to have to prove themselves to be ill. Struggling family to lose benefit for their disabled son because youngster is too ill.
What is that?
So they're saying basically he's not entitled to any money because he's too ill and probably going to die anyways, so they don't need to pay the family any money. And I think it's disgraceful. I think we should be angry about this, because I could only liken it to in the school playground. So if you saw the big bully in the playground go and pick on the youngest, weakest member of that year or that school group, you'd be angry. And I remember seeing it when I was at school and thinking, that's just really weak and pathetic. And that's kind of in effect what the government are doing. They don't want to have a big fight with people. They don't want to have to go through a lot of hardship themselves in order to make cuts to the budget. So how do you do that in the most easy and effective way? You choose the weakest group in society to pick on, or to make the cuts from. And I think that's one of the things it's one of the nastiest parts of it, really.